back to the Diverse Peaks podcast. So this week we are going to be looking at royalties. So it's a bit more, we did say on the last podcast that we were going to cover this because it's a very broad, it's a very broad topic. Of course, at the end of this podcast, we do suggest that you do go and do some of your own research as well.
Always.
We're just going to kind of give you the basics and make sure that you understand it. And of course, as always, if you do have any questions, then please do let us know. But royalties, for anybody that doesn't know, they are essentially, it's the money that people owe you for your composition, for writing your music and getting it played, whether that be on a live event or whether that be in shops or on the radio as well. But we will go into a bit more detail on that a little later. So Serhat, hello, how are you?
I've been great, thank you very much. How about yourself? How was your holiday?
Yeah, it was lovely, thank you very much. Really, really warm. I got a bit of a tan, not as good as yours, but I got a bit of one. So yeah, no, it was great.
I've been to the beach a couple of times, and that was enough for me because my skin is it's like olive skin, so I get tan very, very quick straight away.
Yeah.
Then I can lay down. It just happens while I'm swimming. So, but yeah.
You just look at the sun and you're tanned.
I'm like, all right there, mate. Oops. But back to our topic. Back to our topic, royalties. As you said as well, these are the main income sources, the main income source that we get as musicians from our music being played or being performed in places, in different activities such as concerts or clubs or radio stations or even the shopping malls themselves, or sometimes even DJ sets. So these are all the kinds of different sources that you can actually get royalties for your music, regardless of who's performing the music, who's playing it, as long as you are in contact and registered with one of the royalty collecting companies such as PRS or, like I mentioned before, ASCAP in the United States. These companies, they collect your royalties for you. Obviously, they do take a bit of percentage because how else they're supposed to make money, but then that's who are in charge. Or in some cases, your distributor, if you're using XYZ distributor, they also collect royalties for you.
Yeah, exactly. And I think you've made a really good point there. It's kind of distributors will take a cut on some, as we said in the last podcast. It's about finding the right people for you. And it actually surprised me that how many people don't claim their royalties. You know, I think there's so much hard work that goes into music and kind of releasing it in the composition, and not all artists are aware of it. They think, oh, we'll just put it on Spotify and that's all I'm owed, and sometimes they're not even getting the bank from there. So it is really important that you are fully understanding what royalties are and what you're owed, basically, because you're putting a lot of the hard work in and a lot of money. You definitely deserve to be rewarded for that as well.
Definitely.
Perfect. So I guess we've touched on it slightly in terms of radio and concerts, but there are some other types of royalties that you can get, such as streaming, as we've said, you know, putting it on Spotify, Apple Music, anywhere that is a digital music streaming platform. PRS, PPL, they are the people that are going to ensure that you get your royalties, and they can actually back pay as well. But you can also get royalties from having your track played on the TV, if you're featured in any movies, anything like that. And if you can go more into music, contacting music supervisors and getting your tracks played on series or anything like that, it is going to be really, really great for you. Of course, for the exposure. Sorry,
movie placements.
Yeah, exactly. Really, so it'll be good for exposure for you, but it's also that's where the money is, and they're gonna pay quite highly. But also you can get them from, I didn't realize this actually, I found this out when I was doing my research. You can actually get it from doing CDs and vinyls as well. So you'll get royalties from there, and I found that strange. Like, I think maybe because I'm still in that digital era, because obviously that's kind of where my my upbringing in terms of music is obviously I had CDs, but you know, I did go into HMV when I was 10 and I got my first album, but they kind of died out quite quickly after that. So yeah. So
when was you 10 years old? How long ago was that? 14 years ago?
Yeah.
So what does it make? 2005, 2006, is that around that era? Yeah, that's when they actually started dying down slowly.
Yeah.
Slowly they started dying down. End of 2000s, they gone legit dead, and some of the shops started closing. So you're right, definitely 100%.
Yeah. I used to love going into the shop though and just seeing like trending this week and walking around. I mean, I've probably seen all the albums 12 times because I just go in all the time. But
I loved it.
yeah, I love the actually owning, you know, and you've said it before in a podcast, owning a physical copy and you know, going in it on a Saturday and saying, you know, this is my album, I've got it, and just playing it all the time, whether it's in the car, whether it's on your record player or anything like that. No, because I think with streaming, you can, I know we're going slightly off topic, but with streaming, it's just so accessible. So it's great from an artist point of view, but as a consumer, you know, like for example, Dave's album just dropped. It's incredible. If you haven't listened to it, go listen to it. But that was just so easy for me to go and listen to. Do you know what I mean? Whereas I probably wouldn't have gone out and bought it and spent £10 on it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I know. I see exactly what you mean. In a way, yes. Your what you said is definitely correct. In a way, it's good for the artists because it is accessible. But at the same time, I still want to go and, you know, dig deep and find an undiscovered artist and listen to their music to see what their sound is like. And that's what these kind of shops, HMV or Virgin or XYZ record shops, that's what they used to give you. They used to give you that availability for you to go and discover music that was not discovered, you know?
Yeah, definitely. But in terms of other places that people can get royalties from, do you have anywhere else to add other than the ones we've listed before, or do you feel that we've kind of covered all the different areas that an artist can receive royalties from?
I mean, I believe we covered it all. We can definitely go over it one more time so people actually can refresh their minds, although we spoke about it 2 minutes ago. Movie replacements, video game replacements, placements or replacements, whatever you want to call it. These are really, really, really good sources of income and royalties at the same time, you know. Yeah, like we said earlier as well, CDs, compilation albums of CDs or vinyls, you know. First you get obviously a good chunk of money from placement itself, but after that you still get royalties from each sale. I don't know if it's 5% or 10% because there are lots of artists there on the compilation. So if there is 40 artists, you know, not all of them can get 5%. So it can even be as little as 2%. But even that 2% can fetch up to 5-6 grand sometimes. You know what I mean? So compilation albums, CDs or vinyls, doesn't matter. Even if it's an online version, still digital version. Movies, games, radio stations, concerts, mixtapes. I mean, I just want people to be the artists to be aware that, you know, that there are multiple ways of collecting your royalties from all these different sources. You just need to be, you know, alert and aware that, you know, these are happening. And if any of your music goes viral, then you need to be even more alert and you need to be on their cases and chase after these people to, you know, get your royalties sorted. Sorry for that. I need to put the volume down. But yeah, that's it. I believe we covered all that territory.
Perfect. So yeah, how moving on from then, there's probably an artist sitting here maybe thinking, okay, that's fine, you know, my track has gone viral, but where do I go to? What steps do I have to take in order to collect royalties? So what would your advice be there?
Well, first, who did you distribute your music with? Use CD Baby or Ditto, or did you use Labelworks or Label Engine? Whoever you went with, first and foremost, you need to go with them. They do collect royalties for you, but I believe, in my opinion and in my experience, bigger the song goes, the more attention these companies pay.
Yeah.
However, I'm not saying they don't really give you any royalties if your song doesn't sell, or if you got less than 1,000 streams. Yes, you still get something. But when the numbers are higher, they pay more attention to you, because obviously you are generating more money for them. But at the same time, you can also go with the companies that we talked about earlier as well. PPR, PRS, ASCAP. It doesn't matter. You don't have to be living in America for you to use ASCAP. You could be located in any part of the world, but you can still register yourself as an artist to ASCAP, and you can still collect royalties from America via being a member of ASCAP. And PRS does all of Europe, mainly UK. PPR the same. So yeah, I mean, definitely check out these companies. Check out your distributor first, and second, primarily your distributor. Second, these party companies, they do really, really good jobs.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I think you've covered everything that I was going to say as well. Just kind of in terms of stages, I guess I'll do a bit more of a breakdown. So the very first stage would, for you as the artist, to actually create the music. You know, you can't get royalties if you haven't created it. And then go on with your marketing. Make sure you've got a really strong marketing plan. You've uploaded it to your distributor. Make sure that you've got your release date and your marketing pre-release and post-release as well. That's really, really important, and that's going to give you the best opportunity in getting plays and getting heard. So then next step is your music get played. So get it on the radio, get as much radio airtime as you can. You know, if it does really well on TikTok, you become a trend, or any social media platform, or even if it's just a local radio, you can still collect royalties from there. And then your distributor will collect from all the Spotify, Apple Music, all the stores that they've distributed it out to, and they'll make sure, of course, that you are getting your cut. On some of them, you do just need to go to bank on your account, go to bank, and then you do need to withdraw it. It's not just going to appear in your bank automatically. So that is just something to make sure that as an artist you're doing as well. And then, of course, you'll get the royalties there, and you can spend it, so you can invest it back into music if you like, spend it however you like. It's your hard-earned money. So and then just keep going and going and going, and then you'll just see the money and the listens and the streams and the playlists. Everything, it's like a snowball effect. Everything will just kind of maximize, and the momentum will build the more you do it, and the more kind of knowledge you have in terms of marketing and promotion as well. So
definitely,
so that's how it works.
More marketing, more royalties.
Sorry?
More marketing, more royalties.
Exactly, yes. So people do tend to not want to market because they don't think they have the budget, but it does really help. And that's not even just exposure, it's in terms of money as well. And into, you know, if budget is something that's stopping you, of course it is a factor, and it's something that you need to really consider. Of course, the more you are getting royalties and you claiming your royalties, the more that budget is going to increase, and the more opportunities are going to come your way in terms of promo, in terms of collaborations, influencer marketing, anything like that. So yeah, you can also claim royalties. So PRS do it. PRS and PPL have actually joined together now. So you don't have to sign up to them as individual companies. You can do it all in one, which is really, really great, and I think really good for an artist, because it can be a bit confusing when you go to the website and you're like, which one am I? Because it gives you like, am I a writer? Am I the songwriter? Am I the performer? It can get a bit confusing, and because it is a legal document, you want to make sure that you are filling it out right as well. So just make sure when you are signing up for them, you are reading every little detail. I know we all do it. We all just scroll through. Yeah, it'll be fine. But it is a contract at the end of the day. So just make sure that you are reading all the agreements and that you are happy with them. But you can actually backdate. So you might be an artist sat here now thinking, oh, I did a gig last month, or I did a gig, probably not last year, but it does. I don't know where you are in the world, so you might be thinking, I did a gig last year, and I'm owed royalties. So you can actually backdate. I think it's up to a year, and then you can just upload your set list and make sure that you put all your songs in there, and then PRS and PPO will generate that for you and make sure that you're getting royalties as well from that. So it is really good that it works on previous. It doesn't have to be that you sign up right now, and all the money that you haven't claimed is lost. They do work really, really well for artists, and you guys are their main priority. They're not here to get, they're a what's the word I'm looking for, non-profit organization. So they're not here necessarily to make profit and to kind of you have to do £100 upfront fee, but that's it. Then once you've signed up to PRS and PPL, you just do a one-off £100 fee, and that's it, and then you're signed with them forever. You just need to make sure. Sorry?
It was 50 when I signed up.
Was it?
Yeah. Imagine how
no, it's still 100. Well, when I was at college, it was 100. So.
Wow. I must have been a member for, I'd say, more than 10 years now.
Okay. So, yeah.
Yeah. Wow. Long time. Let's carry on. Sorry. I just thought about it for a second. I was like, wow.
Of course, because they're like improving and having different services, they have to increase their asking fee, I guess. But yeah, I wish it was 50 quid. It would make it a lot more accessible, I think. But it is what it is. They got to make money too. So
definitely.
What was I going to say?
Also, there is a search engine in PRS where, because obviously there is a huge number of artists in the PRS database. So what they did, because they can't realistically track down every single song that's being played here and there, but maybe they are being able to track it down, but they're not being able to process the whole thing. So what you do is you go into your account after you sign up and you get authorized and whatnot, and then you become a member now. And there's a search engine where you can go specifically type your name or your song's name, or the performance that you did. If you did a performance, like you said, up to a year old last year in blah 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 festival, you type the name, and then if it appears, then you collect it. There you go. That's now that you can actually withdraw into your account, which is really good in my opinion.
Yeah. Exactly. It makes it a lot more accessible. It's straight to the point, really easy to navigate. Just one thing that maybe we haven't actually, I think when you're part of something, you forget the little bits, and it can be really easy to just forget things because it's just second nature to you. But I think something that we have missed off is when you've released your track, you need to, even though you might be a member of PRS and PPL, you need to register that track.
Yeah, you have to. You have to
in order to claim your royalties.
Yes, definitely. That's one thing we forgot. Wow, and that's a crucial point.
Yeah, it's just one of those things. It's when you just do it all the time.
You need to go fill out a form with your ISRC code. The name of the song, the minute, the length of the song, full name. If there is any alternate names to it as well, you got to put the alternate names, how it may appear or how it appears on the platforms and whatnot. So you have to fill out a form with as much detail as possible, including your ISRC codes. If you have collaborated with somebody, you have to put their PRS codes there as well, how much percentage they get, how much percentage you get, blah, blah, blah. And you have to do the same process for each and every single song you are releasing.
Yeah. So it is a long process, but it is worth it.
It is.
Whereas the difference usually, depending which distributor you use, you do that when you sign up for the distributor. So obviously, because you're uploading your track to them, that's why you don't have to do it with them, because you've already uploaded it. They're distributing it, and they're sorting it out for you, and then they can collect the royalties. Again, you on DistroKid, I'm not sure if it's the same on other distribution sites, but you can actually have like your team on there. So if you have a producer that you've worked with on the track, or there's splits somewhere on your team, you can actually add your team on there, and then they split automatically. So it's not something that you have to do, but that is totally up to you as an artist, and the agreement that you have with your producer as well. For me and my producer, we don't really do that. I just kind of I do all the admin of it, and then when we want to withdraw, we just split it 50-50 that way. But it's completely up to you. It just works for us. And then so I just wanted to add that in. So
it's good information. It's definitely good information, because there are a lot of people out there who are just in the beginning of their career, so they would like to learn how it works to be able to work with a producer, and then when it comes to splitting the royalties, how will that work? So that was a very useful information, definitely.
Well, thank you very much.
Well, thank you.
I mean, of course, it all depends on what your agreement with the producer is.
Yeah.
Majority of them will do 50-50. I've found in my experience, but it depends what you're adding. So where the royalties start to get confusing is were you the composer, were you the lyricist, were you the melody maker, were you the songwriter? And there's so many different elements of what contributes to making royalties, and that's something that you need to make sure you're looking into. And when you are working with individuals, you are making sure that you're aware of that. And because it can mean, say for example, you're in a 5-piece band, split wise, you're going to, because it's got to be split by 5 people, you're going to get less essentially. Whereas if it's an artist and a producer, 50-50, you're going to both get a decent amount. So it's just something to consider. I mean, I want a big piece, a big brass band for me. So like, I'll be poor. I'll have nothing.
You want a big proper band?
Yeah, like Frank Sinatra. Like I'm at the proms. Sign me up.
Why not?
I'll be poor. That's why.
No, you won't be poor. I mean, when you get to that point to be able to afford such a band, you will be fine. I promise you.
But it's just, such a big dream for me. But anyway, we're going off topic now. Is there anything else you would like to add in regards to claiming royalties, or anything that we might have missed?
Register with one of the companies.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just going to have to do a small recap. Register yourself as an artist. Register every single song that you produce that you're going to release, and then be on the cases of your distributors or the company that you're registered with. Search for your songs, see if they've been played, and then collect your royalties.
Perfect. Got it in one.
That's it.
Brilliant. Well, moving on to, I guess, a final question. It's quite a short podcast today, just because although it's a very broad subject, royalties are royalties. It's not an opinion. This is factual. So It's quite a short podcast. But so all through the podcast, we've been talking about PRS and PPL, but we've not actually said specifically what they stand for. So we did say it on the last podcast, but for anybody that is new and hasn't watched it, please do go watch it. Just put it in there. But do you want to explain what they mean?
PRS?
Yeah.
Why don't you go for it?
Okay. PRS stands for Performing Rights Society. So this is something that every supermarket, mall, restaurant, anything like that, that plays music, they have to have a PRS license.
Yes.
In order to be able to play the music. If they don't, then people do, it is that deep. People do just, who are part of PRS, they will just wander around make sure that they have the little sticker in the window that says PRS licensed, and they will pull you up on it if you're playing music. You know, even if it's from your phone, you still have to have a PRS license, and they have to pay for that, the supermarket and the company. So this, you know, this is really good for you, because it means if your track is being played in the shops, a lot of people will Shazam it, and then you can get Shazam notifications on like people like DistroKid, and that can actually bring you some income as well, which is great. And then you have PPL. Do you want to explain that one?
No, you go for it. Yeah.
Okay.
Go for it.
So you have it stands for, Phonographic Performance Limited. Why are you laughing at me?
I'm not laughing. I'm just listening. I swear I'm not laughing. Swear.
Okay. So this.
Now you made me laugh.
So this is the one where if you have done a live show, or when you do a live show, you have to submit your set list to PPL, and then they'll register that you are playing those songs live, and that you have to put in covers as well, because even if you want the money, but those rights go to the artist whose track it is. So even if you're doing cover songs, you do have to put those in as well to make sure that the other artist is getting their royalties as well. And equally, if someone's going to cover your song, you know, likewise they will say it's your song, and then you'll get some money, and you haven't even performed. So it's really, really great the way that they do it. And as I said, all you need to do is just go on to Google, type in PRS, and as I said, they are combined now, so you can do a one-off update and sign up. And just make sure that you are getting your royalties and you are getting what you deserve. In terms of distributors, sometimes they can be a bit behind. They can be 2 to 3 months behind on stores collecting the data and collecting the royalties.
That's usually how they work. That's true. Usually how they work. Yeah. So
if you withdraw, let's say you withdraw in May, you could still have royalties come in 2 to 3 months as well. So just make sure that you are keeping up to date with it, and that you're getting what you deserve, because you wouldn't go to, you know, music. I think people do forget that music is a job.
It is.
Like, it is a career. Like, you wouldn't go, I don't know, you wouldn't go work at Asda if they weren't paying you. Do you know what I mean? Or you wouldn't go work for a law firm if they weren't going to pay you. And so, and somewhere in the industry, I want to be serious, like, if Harvey Specter from Suits was not paying me, I mean, I'd be like, excuse me, Harvey, let's go to court. Come on, we'll take it to trial.
That's true. That is true. Have
you seen Suits?
I watched up to, I think, the 7th season.
Oh, you're quite far. I'm only on season 2.
Well, you're going to love it. I promise you. I'm not going to say it. I'm not going to jeopardize it for you, but you're going to love it. I'm going to go jinx it for you.
Okay. I won't say anymore because I do get over excited with it. Like, if you weren't being paid from your employer, you wouldn't go to work. Do you know what I mean? So it does kind of come into that on why wouldn't you're putting in hours, probably more hours than an 8-hour day, making sure that your music is right and making sure that it's done to the best of your ability. So make sure you're taking that money, you're taking what you've earned and what you've owed, and put it back into music, and always be able to better yourself in terms of promotion, in terms of equipment, studio equipment, because it does, all the money does add up. You know, if you're going into a studio, even if you know the prices are fair, you can be spending £500 on one track or up to £1,000 on one track. It all depends, obviously, if you're having to buy beats and stuff, but it can all add up. So every little helps, as Tesco say, you know.
And that's a good saying, because
it is. I love it.
Yeah, I mean, you know, people seem to underestimate the power of reinvesting into a business from whatever you earn from it. You could be earning 30, 40 quid a month, but you could still sit down, make calculations, come up with new ways of how to invest that 30 or 40 quid in the most
Yeah.
healthiest and profitable way back into your business so you can get more out of it. You know,
Exactly.
and that's a very, very underestimated thing that a lot of people do, and then they still sit there and expect for their business to grow. I mean, it's not going to happen. You know what I mean? It's not going to happen. You have to reinvest whatever you make. What we're talking about is royalties. Same thing applies. If you're getting £100 or £50 every quarter from your music, because that's how they pay every quarter. So this quarter you made £500. What do you need right now? Maybe a new audio interface, or maybe a new mic. That's it. That's the money came from your business for you to reinvest it back into your business so you can get more quality sounds, and then maybe a bit of money left on top so you can put that into your promotion, and now you're talking money. You know?
They've really made it so there's so many different ways that an artist can make money from their music, and it's just about the artist actually going out there and making sure that that is put into practice, really. And it's really great. I always remember my uni tutor. He would say, "Oh, I got my PRS check this month," and I'd be like, "Oh, okay." And he'd be like, "Yeah, I'm happy, I'm doing this, I'm going there." And I was like, "All right, then show off," you know. But he did really well.
Did he?
Yeah, he did really well. So it just goes to show, and it might be like in the first quarter you make 20 quid or whatever, but 20 quid's better than nothing. Do you know what I mean? And it's about growing and making sure that you're improving yourself as well, because it is all about the music. It's not about the money as well. But I guess the aim is always to improve and always to grow and better yourself. So
it also goes how serious you take it.
The more you release, the more frequent you release, the more exposure you'll get, which means more royalties for you.
Also, how well you promote your releases.
Yes.
Definitely.
Perfect. Anything else to add, or are you happy?
I'm more than happy. I mean, the topic was it was a good topic, although it's like you said, it's a big topic, but at the same time, there is only so much you can talk about it.
Yeah.
And I believe we have both of us touched base with every single crucial point, and we have given as much information as possible. And if there is anything that we have missed, please comment down below, let us know, and then we will talk about it, in our forthcoming podcast, which is going to be next week. And we will definitely do our best to touch those points as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, without any further ado, thank you very much for watching. Please do like and subscribe. And if you have any topics that you want us to cover, please, again, just let us know. We're always happy to help. And if you have any questions that you don't want us to cover in a podcast, just find us at Diverse Beats on Instagram. Again, we'll be happy to help and answer any questions that we can.
Definitely. Until next time, see you later.
Bye.
Bye.